Hello everyone and welcome to Heroes of the Storm. My name is Snow and in today's video we're going to look at the newest hero to enter the Nexus, Kel'Thuzad, the Archlich of Naxxramas. This video will have a different format than the Oriel and the Arthas video that I have uploaded recently, as this video will not contain any live gameplay. Instead we will be focusing on a replay of mine that I have played recently. Would like to also give a quick shout out before we begin to the Onyx Guild Discord server. Everybody on that server has given me lots of positive feedback about my videos, and I am designating this video to everybody on this server. I hope you all enjoy. So here we are, Kel'Thuzad, the Archlich of Naxxramas. As many of you would have guessed, he is a ranged assassin, and he is very similar to the Lich from Warcraft 3. So firstly, let's go over his basic abilities, his trait, and then his heroics. So his first basic ability is Death and Decay. After a very short period, he launches an orb forward that explodes on the first enemy it contacts, leaving a pool behind on the floor that deals damage every half second for 2 seconds. This spell does a lot of damage, as you can see. Deals 70 damage at level 1 every half second for 2 seconds. So 70 damage every half second for 2 seconds. 70 times 4, 280 damage at level 1. On top of the 150 direct damage if you are to hit a hero. His second basic ability is Frost Nova. He creates a Nova ring on the floor that roots enemies on the inside and slows them on the outside. Similar to Jaina's Ring of Frost, but opposite, and obviously a significantly less radius. Rooting a hero allows you to set up really easily for your third basic ability, Chains of Kel'Thuzad. You launch a chain forward. If the chain hits an enemy hero or structure, you are able to fire a second chain from that target's direction. If you hit another hero, the 2 heroes are stunned. If you fire the chain at a structure into a hero, the structure will pull the hero to the structure and the hero will be stunned. That may seem confusing, but I will show you exactly what I mean and all the combinations you can do with Chains of Kel'Thuzad upcoming in this replay. Now we're going to skip his heroics for now, as his trait is significantly more important and more relevant at this current time. So his trait is a permanent quest and gives him the most damage if you are able to complete it before you gain your heroics. Obviously your heroics will give you more damage, but fully completing this quest would almost double your damage output on top of the cooldown reduction and the spell power. I'm not going to read this, it has been on the screen for some time now, so I imagine you have all read it by now, and I'm going to say this now, I personally wouldn't get used to the 75% spell power. After so many games that I've played as Kel'Thuzad, I can see this being nerfed to 55 or 60, and maybe even the 2-second cooldown reduction to 1.5. So I wouldn't get used to this being at 75, but for now, definitely have fun with it while it lasts. But as I said, I can definitely see this being nerfed. So his 2 heroics, they offer lots of different playstyles. So his first heroic is Frost Blast. If you've ever played Kel'Thuz and you've picked Pyroblast, this is the exact same thing, but instead of dealing significant damage to an enemy, that enemy will be rooted for 1.5 seconds. Frost Blast damage is extremely small. Don't try to use this to snipe people, definitely use this to initiate fights, pick off people, hold an objective, such as nukes on Warhead Junction. This cast range is quite large and sets up for your other abilities such as Frost Nova and Chains of Kel'Thuzad. The other heroic is the one that I have started to take more recently, as for something that I call the combo that I will show you guys later on. So this has a very low cooldown and it is also global. You create a fissure on the ground, dealing high amounts of damage to anyone you strike. But this does have a significant wind-up time. As you can see, it has a wind-up time of 1.5 seconds, and the radius is really small, so people can just walk out of it and take no damage at all. But with Frost Nova, Chains of Kel'Thuzad, and CC from your allies, this spell becomes significantly easy to land. A hero that I have found that works really well with Kel'Thuzad is Arthas. I know the lore between Arthas and Kel'Thuzad, so I imagine lots of people would think they would just work well together anyway. The combination of Arthas and Kel'Thuzad is just insane. I honestly expect Arthas to always be picked with a Kel'Thuzad, and maybe vice versa. Kel'Thuzad does offer a lot of damage as he is a mage. He is a burst mage, and his burst is, I would say, similar to the old Nova. If people who are watching this video were around when Nova could one-shot people, we should just go snipe and W'd and you were dead. His damage is similar to that. So I would definitely be afraid of any really good Kel'Thuzads at the moment. As he is brand new, chances of finding an extremely good Kel'Thuzad are really low, as most people are just playing him because he's brand new. But I would be really, really scared of finding a really good Kel'Thuzad in any game that you currently play. So now that we've got his abilities, his heroics, and his trait out of the way, let's go over his talents. So here are his talents. All of your level 1 talents revolve around completing the quest Master of the Cold Dark, which is the Blight mechanic. Upon picking the Plague Lands, upon reaching 30 Blight, Death and Decay's duration and radius will be increased. If you pick Blighted Frost, after gaining 30 Blight, Frost Nova's middle damage will be increased and the root duration will be increased. If you take Barbed Chains, after gaining 30 Blight, Chains of Kel'Thuzad's damage will be increased and will also reduce the armor of heroes you hit with chains by 15. My default choice for this tree is Blighted Frost. At level 4, we have Strip Shields. Pulling a hero with Chains of Kel'Thuzad grants Kel'Thuzad a permanent shield, stacking twice. Additionally, Chains of Kel'Thuzad deals additional damage to shields. Level 4, we also have a quest. You collect regeneration globes to immediately respawn at the Hall of Storms when you die. If you have 10 regeneration globes and you aren't dead, you also heal yourself for 10% of all the spell damage that you deal. This offers you a lot of sustain as you are a burst mage. The other tree is a anti-dive talent. You gain 50 armor and slow nearby enemies. It has a very short cooldown. This is very good against your Greymanes, your Sonyas, your Genjis, heroes who are like that. Default talent that I pick at this tree is Phylactery of Kel'Thuzad. The spell steal offers you a lot of sustain and works really well with the other talents I'll be talking about here shortly. And of course, the immediate respawn with no penalty, unlike Malthael's, is really handy in the late game when your death timers are over 54 seconds when they really matter. So as I said, default choice, Phylactery of Kel'Thuzad. I can see Armor of the Archlich being useful, but self-res, you can't really argue with that. So level 7, Death and Decay damage increases the longer people stand in it. We're going to skip this second one for now, as I do want to say a couple of things about this one. Once every 8 seconds, Kel'Thuzad's next basing attack will deal spell damage instead of physical, and will slow. So I'll give you a sec just to read this. This is a very powerful ability, and I honestly think it should be made baseline in Kel'Thuzad's kit, and just this talent be completely remade with something else. This talent is so good to Kel'Thuzad's kit. The fact that Glacial Spike can be affected by Chains of Kel'Thuzad, so you can use Glacial Spike to connect your chains, so pull someone to the Glacial Spike, it's way too good compared to Accelerated Decay or Chilling Touch. And if you see a Kel'Thuzad not take this talent, they're really hindering their own damage as well as their own form of crowd control. So this is the default talent by a large margin on this tree. And I will show you why in the replay that we are going to watch here shortly. So 2 heroics I've spoken about already, so I'm going to completely skip level 10 and move straight to level 13. So level 13 talents are all pretty straightforward. Icy Grasp, increase Frost Nova slow duration, so the outside rings slow duration, not the center. Chains of Kel'Thuzad, when the stun expires, they will slow by a lot. 70% is a pretty big slow. This is... it's just... 70% slow is just... there are no words to describe how useful a 70% slow. That is a big slow. And Chain Link, reduce Chains of Kel'Thuzad cooldown. It is nowhere near as useful as 70% slow, so this is the default choice that I take on 13, for the reasons that I've been bragging about for the last 20 seconds or so. So level 16 is where you get to make a lot of choice with your talents here. This is probably the hardest tier to pick. So Arcane Echoes, when you hit someone with Death and Decay's impact, the cooldown is reduced by 1.25 seconds, with the 2 seconds off by Master of the Cold Dark. If you take this, Death and Decay's cooldown will equal the pull duration, so you can have a permanent Death and Decay pull on the floor, zoning people out, if you are able to constantly hit them, of course. So Hunger and Cold, enemies rooted by Frost Nova take additional damage each time they are damaged by you for 4 seconds. So this will mark the target for 4 seconds, unlike Shorohana's... I can't think of her talent anymore, I don't take it anymore. Unlike hers, this one doesn't pop on one hit, so every time you deal damage during the next 4 seconds, this will proc. This can add up being a lot of damage depending on how many spells you can land in 4 seconds, as if you are to do the combo, you are able to deal a lot of additional damage with Hunger and Cold. But the other one is Power of Ice Crown. Stunning, rooting, or slowing a hero gives you 6% spell power, stacks 5 times. So you can either take more damage on all of your spells with Hunger and Cold, or just raw power with Power of Ice Crown. Arcane Echoes is worth mentioning because of the level 20 Storm talents here that we are about to look at, but the default choice that I take is Power of Ice Crown, as I do find myself stunning, rooting, and slowing quite constantly in team fights, and I am able to keep this buff up at 5 stacks for a very long time, giving me 30% more spell power, giving me more damage than Hunger and Cold as well. So here are these Storm talents. First, I did just talk about Arcane Echoes, so I want to bring up the Damned Returned first. There's a cooldown of 15 seconds and also lasts 15 seconds. You can have this up permanently. You create a Shade of Naxxramas on the field near you, it's not global, sorry, that mimics Kel'Thuzad's Death and Decay. This will fire a Death and Decay of yours. You can have any talents, or you can leave it untalented. If you have selected talents for Death and Decay, he will throw talented versions. I have not actually tried the Death and Decay build, but I imagine it would be pretty good. Something I do want to try and see is if the Arcane Echoes does affect the Shade, and you are able to just reset the cooldown of Death and Decay. I haven't tried it, so I can't really comment on it, but if it does work, that would be really powerful. But it's not something that I would go all the time. But effectively, it does double your damage of Death and Decay, as just like the 2 symbiote targets on Abathur, if you are to stab someone, they would go just both to your cursor instead of having to control both at the same time. So going to look at, just go up the list here, so Shifting Malice, you're able to dash forward, dealing damage, takedowns reset the cooldown. This is a very long cooldown otherwise, so you are looking to get that reset. I don't know the range of this, as I also have not taken this talent. It's something I should be messing around with just to see its range. You know, I might do it in some silly video one day, but for now I always take this next one, Might of the Scourge. When you hit a hero with Shadow Fissure, its cooldown is completely reset. This is also a talent that I could see being nerfed to maybe 50% of its cooldown, giving you a 7.5 second delay between each fissure, because you are able to just chain fissures if you do have a lot of hard CC on your team, such as ETC stuns, Arthur's roots, various taunts, stuff like that. The other one is Death Chill. If you kill someone while they are rooted by Frost Blast, that target will emit another Frost Blast. This can chain off itself. So, as an example, if you throw a Frost Blast on a lost Viking, you kill that one Viking, it'll explode to the other two Vikings. You kill another Viking, that Viking will explode to the last Viking. You kill that Viking, and that Viking will explode to anything nearby. This explosion will not deal damage, it will just root. As far as I'm aware, I've also not played with this talent. As soon as I found the power of Might of the Scourge, this is the only talent I've taken since I can remember. So, recapping here real quick, default talents that I take: level 1, Blighted Frost; level 4, Phylactery of Kel'Thuzad; level 7, Glacial Spike; level 10, Shadow Fissure; level 13, Chains of Ice; level 16, Power of Ice Crown; and level 20, Might of the Scourge. So we're going to jump into this replay here, and I am going to go over some gameplay of mine and comment on it, show you some tips, some tricks, show you everything that this hero can do, and hopefully you can master this hero and blow up people as well as I can. So here's the game we're going to look at. This is on Battlefield of Eternity, and it is worth noting that this game was played on the 6th of September 2017. Any patch notes that have released since Kel'Thuzad's launch that have changed Kel'Thuzad in any shape or form will not be in this video. However, all of the mentioned notes in this video will still apply. So in this first highlight, I want to show you the power of the Chains of Kel'Thuzad ability for hopefully assisting with your team on landing a stun to rack your team a easy double kill. So the Immortals have spawned, as we can see here, so I'm hoping my team moves up to contest the Immortals, as the Leoric is here and around 55% health, so he is not really a target at the moment. So we are going to move up forward here a little bit, and I do move into the Fog of War to get an eye on the Immortal, see who's hitting it, and my first reaction is the Lucio is stunned. So I want to think of something that I can do with the Lucio while he is vulnerable, while he is stunned, and my first thought is to throw in a Chain of Kel'Thuzad on the Lucio and chain him to the Leoric, pulling them together and stunning them again. So that is what I hope to do in this clip. So I'm dashing around a little bit to throw the chain on the Lucio as I wanted to do. Luckily the Leoric has come to me, so that is a easy Chain to Kel'Thuzad target. So I hit them both, pull them together, throw the Frost Nova on where they're going to impact, and then they're rooted by the Frost Nova. Luckily at this time too, the Immortal has also casted his stun, so they're stunned after the root, to add even more CC on top of this, so we are able to get more free damage. And because the Arthas has came to us and noticed that we are fighting, he has also joined the fight and rooted the Lucio and the Leoric once more. And as you can see here, the 3 damage dealers of their team are separated from their tank, who is critically injured, and the Leoric, who is guaranteed to die here. The damage dealers can't do anything at the moment as the Arthas is full health and he is walking to the Lucio, and as you can see, they both simply fall over. That is a very easy double kill that just come from one good place Chain to Kel'Thuzad and an extremely lucky stun from the Immortal. This is the next clip I want to show you here, as we are going to take the fight to the enemy team because the Leoric is dead. So now I am level 8, so I do have the Glacial Spike talent picked up, so I am looking to reverse spike combo someone to get a kill with the Tracer, who is right next to me here. So I'm looking for the Lucio, the Jaina, or the Greymane in this clip. As I can already see, the Lucio is being rooted by the Arthas and is significantly far away from me, so I'm going to ignore him, as a Chain to Kel'Thuzad is not guaranteed to hit, as the Howling Blast from the Arthas is on cooldown, and the distance between me and him right now is far too long. So I am hoping to go for the Jaina or the Greymane, hopefully the Greymane, because if he is half health, but either one of these two targets will be fine, as the reverse spike combo would guarantee a kill with Tracer's damage. So we're walking up to the Immortal to do as I said, and the Greymane has hesitated. He has gone down and then gone back up. So this is a very easy Chains of Kel'Thuzad target. So the first thing is I throw the Chains of Kel'Thuzad, it hits the Greymane, I put down the Glacial Spike and bring him backwards. This is what is known as the reverse spike combo. As you can see, he comes back stunned and killed by the Tracer. So here's the next moment I want to show you of how much just raw damage Kel'Thuzad can do by throwing all of his spells in quick succession on CC targets. Unfortunately, during this moment my team was talking about the value of Stim Drone on a Tracer, so the chat box may be completely filled up eventually, but I just want to show you this one small clip, so I hope the chat box doesn't annoy you from this clip. So as I can see here, the Arthas is going to commit on this Leoric, as the Greymane looks like he's about to be stunned, and the Lucio is also right in front of the Leoric. So if the Arthas does Howling Blast the Leoric to root him in place, I will aim for a Chains of Kel'Thuzad on the Leoric, hopefully pull him and one of his allies together, and immediately throw the Frost Nova and the Death and Decay, hoping for at least a kill on the Leoric. So as I predicted, the Leoric does get rooted by the Howling Blast. The Lucio does stay there and also does get stunned by the Immortal, which means an easy Chains of Kel'Thuzad target, so they get chained together. Then I throw the Frost Nova, and then the Death and Decay. The impact kills the Leoric, and the damage over time from the Death and Decay kill the Lucio. That's just how much damage he can do just by throwing his spells in all quick succession. Without the use of Shadow Fissure, as you can see, it is still available. So I'm just going to let this video play out with no commentary, as the next moment does happen here in a couple of seconds. So this moment here is what I like to call the Glacial Spike pull combo. Earlier I mentioned the reverse spike combo, where you throw a Chain of Kel'Thuzad, throw the Glacial Spike up, and then pull them to the Glacial Spike. But here I want to show you how to bring your enemies to the Glacial Spike. So you throw down the Glacial Spike, throw the chains to the Glacial Spike, and then throw that chain from the spike to a hero, bring that hero to the spike, root them in place, and Death and Decay. So as you can see here, I put down the Glacial Spike, I throw the Chains of Kel'Thuzad at the spike, then I launch the chains at a hero, and I caught the Greymane. This was completely unintentional, as I didn't even see the Greymane on my screen at this time. I throw down the Frost Nova when I see that I've got the Greymane, I throw the Death and Decay, and then the Shadow Fissure. As you can see, he was full health, and now he is pretty much dead, as the Howling Blast will get him killed. This is the Glacial Spike pull combo. So here's the next moment I want to show you. This moment is very similar to the last moment I just showed you, but I will give you a detailed breakdown on everything that I do here and why I did it. So here, the Arthas and the Tracer are running from the Leoric Ghost, as he is dead, and the Jaina is following the Leoric Ghost, and the Leoric Ghost isn't up for 9 seconds. So as far as I know, the Jaina is out of position, as the 3 allies behind her are in my fog of war, so they are unseen. So I play this out as I stop recalling, as I notice the Jaina, the Lucio, the Greymane, and the Kel'Thuzad turn for the Tracer as she is gone in. So I immediately try to help the Tracer, but realize she's just recalled and come to us. So I throw down the Glacial Spike and the Chains of Kel'Thuzad as more of a warning of, don't come near me, I will blow someone up if you come to me closer. But I have to throw this Chains of Kel'Thuzad, otherwise this would just be a completely wasted cooldown. So I throw the Chains of Kel'Thuzad out, and I've grabbed the Jaina. So this is when I just unload all of my spells on this Jaina, completely destroying one of their damage dealers and turning and fighting on them, resulting in multiple kills. So I've grabbed the Jaina, I throw the Frost Nova or where she's going to be. The Death and Decay has already started to be cast, as you can see by this light blue ball. Then I immediately throw out the Shadow Fissure. As you can see, the Death and Decay has landed, has done the impact damage, the pool is on the floor, the Shadow Fissure lands, well, it doesn't land actually, and she does die. As you can see, the Jaina was full health. She didn't have any damage taken to her health bar at all. I've done the one combo and she has died. This is very common to do with any assassin that isn't Tracer, because if you just mistime that Frost Nova by even a tenth of a second, Tracer will have time to recall out and just completely negate all of your damage. So in this moment I want to show you something a little bit different. While this does revolve around the Kel'Thuzad combo of pulling someone to a spike or blowing something up, I want to show you a way it can be used in a more threatening way. Even if you miss the Chains of Kel'Thuzad, it does offer you some form of protection by telling your enemy that you're looking to do this combo even if you miss. So as you can see here, the Arthas is extremely low. Any hit from anyone will kill him. As you can see, the Leoric has used Wraithwalk to try to catch up to him. The Samuro in front of me is in Windwalk, hoping to commit to anybody that does appear. The Greymane has also used his dive by this cooldown, so he can't just simply dive to the Arthas, as he does need to just walk to the Arthas to hit him. So I'm thinking of multiple ways to protect my Arthas here. The best way that I can think of is throwing the Glacial Spike and committing to the combo if I do hit someone. Maybe just throwing the spike with the chain will make some allies pull away, because they have been used to me doing this combo enough times in this game already. So as you can see, I throw down the Glacial Spike and the chains, and immediately the Jaina has thrown a Frostbolt just before the chain has been cast. The Greymane hasn't noticed this chain and he's continuing to walk forward. As you can see, the Jaina has turned away because she recognizes this combo, but the Greymane hasn't noticed me doing this combo and I have caught him. So I've pulled the Greymane to the Glacial Spike, throw down the Frost Nova because I've noticed that I've grabbed him, already casted the Death and Decay, and the Shadow Fissure is soon to come, resulting in his death. As you can see, the Jaina was running away from the Chains of Kel'Thuzad. This automatically gives Arthas enough time to run away, as Leoric couldn't catch him either because of Samuro's protection. So even if you miss the Chains of Kel'Thuzad, just having the threat of the spike with a chain on it gives enough presence for the enemy to walk away. I'm also going to let this clip play out a little bit longer as well, as there is another moment coming up that just shows you just the power plays that you can do with Chains of Kel'Thuzad, and just how strong this ability is, even though it doesn't deal much direct damage. So here you can see the Samuro has committed to a fight on Leoric, trying to bait the Leoric and confuse the Leoric using mirror images, but the Jaina isn't falling for it and will just AoE and blow them all down. I'm looking for this opportunity to maybe grab the Leoric and the Jaina together, hoping for a double kill. If not, not a big deal, as we are pushing top keep still, while Chaser is defending bottom, giving us experience. So here we are, Samuro does eventually run away, and I throw the chains, hoping to hit at least one of them to bring them together, to hope for just for some damage, maybe a kill, just hoping for some damage to threaten them, say hey, I'm still here, no, leave my Samuro alone. So I've thrown the chains out, it hits the Leoric, Jaina is right next to him, so this is an easy Chains of Kel'Thuzad target, so I hit the Chains of Kel'Thuzad on the Jaina, bringing them together, throw the Frost Nova in between them, rooting them in place. Inside the Death and Decay that I have thrown, the impact damage will almost kill Lucio, the direct damage will almost kill Jaina. Leoric does die because he Wraithwalked, the Jaina does die because he stood still to auto attack a minion. So that was just from one good Chains of Kel'Thuzad, resulting into a Frost Nova, Death and Decay, killing them both because they made simple misplays, but that's just a very simple combo. There is one trick that I've yet to show you that I did mention in the talent overview, so we'll go into that trick as the final trick you can do as Kel'Thuzad. So here's the final trick I want to show you here as Kel'Thuzad. I did mention in the talent overview that you are able to throw Chains of Kel'Thuzad onto enemy structures and pull the enemy to that structure. So the Leoric is guaranteed to die here, and with the Lucio dead it is a 3 versus 5, also with a full health Immortal, so this is most likely going to be a win for us. But I am looking to get one more kill, as that will 100% guarantee the win for us, as it is impossible to win a 2v5. So the Leoric does fall eventually, so I throw the Chains of Kel'Thuzad onto the Moonwell. I throw it out hoping to grab someone, and I've grabbed the Kel'Thuzad. Luckily, my team is quick enough to react to this, and he immediately dies. So that is all I wanted to show you today. I'm not going to go into a game and show you the weaknesses of Kel'Thuzad, as those weaknesses are pretty straightforward just by watching those few clips that I have played for you just now. So thank you all for watching. Once again, massive shout out to all the community on the Onyx Discord server, as this video is designated to all of you Kel'Thuzad players on that server. And I also want to give out a massive shout out to my friend Archlich, who made that game with that Arthas possible for this recording. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.